Okay, today we're looking at Module 1, Lesson 26, percent of a quantity. Before we go on, who wants to know what the word quantity means? What does, right? Who can tell me what quantity means? New question. What does quantity mean? Alright, what does quantity mean?
Like the total amount.
An amount. A number. So this morning when I was driving to work, I heard a story on the radio. I don't listen to real hardcore news stations. I listen to the entertainment news stations. And one thing they were saying was that, what holiday's coming up? Thanksgiving. What happens the day after Thanksgiving?
We get a break.
Black Friday.
Store.
So Black Friday is the day with all the big sales. I heard a story on the radio this morning. That in California, there are 2 women already lined up outside of a Best Buy to get these sales.
But it's like a week and a half.
I think it's going to cost them more money to live there for 3 weeks. They have to buy all their meals. You know, they're not going to work and getting paid. I don't understand this. But, so you're going to start hearing a lot of commercials now about Black Friday sales or Cyber Monday sales. So when an item is on sale, we have to look at a couple different pieces of information. So when an item is, let's say it's $100, okay? That's the price tag of an item. Think about some of the words we used on Monday. If that's the total amount, if that's the full amount, what word could we use to describe that? What word did we use on Monday that would represent the total, the full? Okay, that quantity is the whole. That's our whole. And then they're going to tell you the percent off. So think about how we wrote ratios on Monday as a part of our opening activity. We have our whole and we also have our part. So the percent, so if it's 20% off, we know that we're going to save $20. But what about what's left? That's considered our, so what am I paying for this? Paying $80. I'm paying 80%. This is considered our part. So we have our part, we have our percent, we have our whole. And that's going to help us with our lessons today, finding the part, the percent, and the whole. Okay, so let's try some. So let's take a look at example 1. 5 of the 25 girls, hey, that sounds like that's a ratio. 5 out of 25. Remember, out of is a verbal cue word. So with your highlighters, you should highlight that. And how could I write that ratio, 5 out of 25? I could write it 5:25. How have we been writing it now since we're using percent? What's a different way that we could write it that would probably be more helpful?
5/25.
Yeah, so we could do that right there just to help us, just in case we need it. All right, but getting back to the question. 5 out of the 25 girls on Alden Middle School soccer team are 7th grade students. Find the percentage of 7th graders on the team. Show 2 different ways of solving for the answer. One of the methods must include a diagram or a picture model. All right, so let's go back. What are we trying to find? What are they asking us? They want us to find the percentage. So let's make a little key off to the side that might help us. What is the part? What is the whole? What is the percent? There's a lot of language here, so let's go back and deconstruct it and pull out the details that we need. So do we know the part of the team? Yeah, 5 is our part of the team. Do we know what the whole team is? 25. Do we know what the percent is? No. That's what we have to find out. We have to find the percent. So you can label it with a question mark. You can put a line there to like fill in the blank. You can put an X. But you should be writing that down, please. Everybody should have this little key written down up in the corner. Okay? So we just took all those words and broke it down right there. All right. So method 1, let's use a picture model. So we're going to draw our double number line. And we label it with 0. And we know that our whole percent is always 100%. So that part, every single time, that's how we do it. That's what we know. Now we have to take our other pieces of information and put it on the double number line. So here, let's start with the whole, the 25. Where do I put that 25? Top or bottom? Okay, the bottom is only for percents. So it's going to go on the top. Is it going to go in the middle or at the end? Because that's my whole. Okay, so I have my whole over my whole. My whole class over my whole percent. Any questions so far on where did the 25 come from? Why did you put the 25 there? Where did the 100 come from?
I had a question.
Okay, so now we have the 5. My part. Does that go on the percent line or on the team line? The team line. Because I know that it's 25. It's 5 out of 25. So here's my 5. I'm going to put it down here because that makes sense. All right, so now I took all the information and I started setting up my double number line. Any questions so far on where the numbers went? All right, now I have to continue numbering because I can't go from 0 to 5 here and 5 to 25 there. Those are uneven intervals. I can't do that. So I have to keep numbering my top number line so that they're even intervals. So I already have 5 there. Can I count by 5s?
Yeah.
Let's do that. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So now I have even intervals of 5. So I'm done numbering my top number lines. Now I have to label the bottom number line, the percentages. Well, I already have my spaces there. That 100 was broken into how many sections? That 100 on the bottom was broken into how many sections? How many sections are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 sections, so I have to take that 100% and break it into 5 sections. So what's 100 divided by 5? Everybody? 20. So let's count by 20s. 20, 40, 60, 80. Anybody not sure why we counted by 20s? Do I have even intervals across the bottom now? Yes. All right. Now what is the question? We're trying to find the percent. So my answer is going to be on the bottom because I want to know the percent. I want to know 5 is what percent. So 5 lines up out of what percent? Right, so my answer is 20%. That's the answer. Yes.
Couldn't you just
Okay, apparently I forgot to hit record again, so a section of this, the method 2, may not have recorded, but we're going to do it again on the next one. Okay, so let's take a look at the next one. All right. So example 2. Of the 25 girls on the Alden Middle School soccer team, 40% also play on a travel team. How many of the girls on the middle school team also play on a travel team? So let's make our notes on the side. I need a part, I need a whole, and I need a percent. So it says of the 25 girls. Of 25 girls. So is 25 my part or my whole team? That's my whole team. I'll give you a hint. When you see of, that's your whole. Okay, like out of, right? That's how we write our ratios. How much out of? The of goes on the bottom. Okay, we have 40%, so 40 is our percent. How many of the girls? So how many? So we want to find the part. What part of 25? So what part of 25? That's what we're trying to find. So let's draw our double number line. 0, 0, and 100%. So let's fill in what we know. My 25 is my whole. So my whole goes on the end. So this whole bar represents the full 25 girls on the team. Now the next piece of information we have is 40%. So is that going to go on the top? That doesn't even make sense on the top. It's too big. So I'm going to put it down here because it's a little bit less than half. So that means it's less than half of the team. So let's think of reasonable answers. If it's less than half, what's half of 25? 12.5. So my answer has to be less than 12.5. And I can't have half a girl on the soccer team. So it has to be less than 12 and a half. So think of that so it's a reasonable answer. All right. So can I have an interval of 40 here and an interval of 60 there? No, can't happen. So I have to continue numbering my percentage. What do you want to count by? 20s. Let's go by 20s and see if that works. So we have 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Nice, even intervals of 20. Yes.
So basically, we could just use the number line from last time. Yeah. The number line from last time.
Okay. Yeah. I want to practice some more. Okay. So now I have to get from 0 to 25. How many sections did I break this into? How many sections did I break this into? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 25 divided by 5 is 5. So I'm going to count by 5s. So now I have to find 40%. So 40 out of 100. I'm getting ahead of myself. So what is it? How many? 10 what? Girls. So there's your answer, 10 girls. Is that less than 12 and a half? Yes, so that's reasonable. So let's try method 2. I know that it's 40% out of 100, which is what we also saw here, 40 out of 100, equals, we want to know how much out of 25. How much out of 25? That's what we're trying to figure out. So how am I going to scale down from 100 to 25?
Divide by 4.
Sure, we'll divide by 4. Divide by 4. What's 40 divided by 4? 10. So 10 out of 25 girls are on the soccer team. So our answer is 10. And we also see that equivalent on our double number line here. 10 out of 25 is equal to 40 over 100. Look at that. So they both represent the same information. Okay? Let's do one more. The first one we had to find the percent. The second one we had to find the part. So let's see what we have to do on example 3. The Alden Middle School girls soccer team won 80% of their games this season. Good for them. If the team won 12 games, how many games did they play? Solve the question using at least 2 different methods. So let's find our part, our whole, and our percent. So let's go back. Oh, I see percent. Okay, so I know that 80%. Now they won 12 of their games. So is 12 part of the games, or is 12 the total number of games they've played? What is it? Is 12 part of the games that they played, or is 12 the total number of games that they've played?
I think it's all.
They won 12 of their games. Remember we said of is always going to be our bottom number, our whole. So they only played 12 games? No. 12 is their part, because they won 12 out of all of their games. Okay, so 12 is the part. We have to find how many games. How many games? So let's draw our double number line. We know they both start at 0. We know our percent is over 100. I see 80%, so I'll put my 80 here. I have to keep numbering, so I'll go by 20s again. 20, 40, 60. Whoops, dropped the pen. 60, 80, 100. Now 12 is my part. So do I put 12 here? No, because that's not the total games. Where should I put the 12? Does the 12 represent 20% of the games? 40% of the games? 60% of the games? 80% of the games? Yes. Winning 12 games, winning 80% of their games, so those match up. So now I have to figure out what is my interval. My 12 is here. What do I have to count by to get to 12 using even intervals? I go to 3, 3, 6, 9, 12. 3 more would be 15. So what's the whole? 15 games. We want to write total. 15 total games. Now to set that up as equivalent fractions, we know that they won 80%. We know that 80 equals 12. This is where it gets a little more difficult. That is hard. Maybe we could scale this down somehow. Maybe we could scale that down. So 80 over 100 equals 8 over 10. Does that work? 8 to 12? Can I scale down my 8/10 even more? Let's reduce it to 4/5. Now does it work?
Yeah.
Yes. So times 3 times 3, 15. So 12 out of 15 games. Because remember, the fraction bar means out of. So 15 games is our answer. Now there's one on your homework that has the hundreds grid. You can do the hundreds grid, but everything else has to be on loose leaf. And if it says to use a model, you have have to use a model, or I'm speaking. Please stop closing your binders. Now put your binders back on the floor. You are not dismissed yet. Thank you. The binders should be open. So on your homework, if it says to use a model and you don't use a model, you will not get full credit for your homework. You have to follow the directions and use your notes to help you.